Okay, ladies, my name is William. All right, today I'm gonna read another part of the Bible. Today I'm gonna read Joshua chapter 8. Okay. And the Lord said unto Joshua, Fear not, neither be thou dismayed. Take all the people of war with thee, and arise, go up to Ai. See, the given of thy hand of the king of Ai, and his people in the city, and his land. And thou shalt do to Ai and his kings of the Dittas, unto Jericho and her king, and all his brother thereof, and the cattle thereof, and shall ye take for a prey unto yourselves. Lay thee an ambush for the city behind it. So Joshua arose, and the people of war go up against Ai. The Joshua chose out 30,000 men of value, and sent them away by night. And he commanded by saying, Behold, ye shall lie in wait against the city, even behind the city, going not very far from the city, and by ye all ready. And I, all the people that are with me, will approach unto the city. And it shall come to pass, when they come against us as the first, they will be free before them. For they will come after us, till they have withdrawn from the city, and they will stay. They flee before us, and at the first therefore they flee before them. And they shall rise up in the ambush and seize upon the city. Now the Lord your God will deliver unto your hand. And it shall be when he have taken from the city, that ye shall set the city on fire, according to the command of the Lord shall ye do. So see, I have commanded you. Joshua therefore sent them forth, and they went to lie in ambush, and abode between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of Ai. But Joshua lodged on the night among the people. And Joshua rose up early in the morning, and numbered the people, and went up in the elders of Israel before the people to Ai. And all the people, even the people of war, the word of him, went up, and drew nigh, and came before the city, and pitched on the north side of Ai. Now there was a valley between them and Ai. He took about 5,000 men, and set to lie in ambush between Bethel and Ai, on the west side of the city. And when they set the people, even the host that was on the north city, and their liars, and waited the west of the city, Joshua went the night in the midst of the valley. And it came to pass, when the king of Ai saw it, and that they hasted and rose up early, and the men of the city went out against Israel and to battle. And he all of his people, at the time appointed before the plan, and his wist not they were liars in ambush against behind in the city. Okay, and Joshua and Israel made as if they were beaten before them, and they fled by the way of the wilderness. And all the people that were in Ai were covered together in the pursuit, and they pursued after Joshua, and they were lying down from the city. And there was from a man left in the Ai and Bethel, and they were not out of Israel. They were the city open in pursuit after Israel. And the Lord said unto Joshua, stretch out the spear that is thy hand toward Ai, for I will give it into thine hand. And Joshua set out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city. And an ambush arose quickly out of their place, and they ran as soon as they had it stretched out of his hand. And he entered unto the city and took it, and they hasted and set the city on fire. And when the men of Ai looked behind him, they saw, and behold, the smoke of the city ascended up to heaven, and they have no power to flee this way or that way. And the people that fled to the wilderness, they turned back upon the pursuers. And when Joshua and all of Israel saw an ambush, they had taken the city, and the smoke of the city ascended, and that they turned again, they slew the men of Ai. Another issued the city against them, so they were the midst of Israel, and some on this side and some on that side, and they smote them. And they were none of them, and they remained or escaped. And the king of Ai took alive, and they brought him to Joshua. And it come to pass, when Israel had made an end of slaying and the inhabitants of the Ai in the field and the wilderness, when they chased them, and they all fell in the edge of the sword, until they were consumed. And the Israelites returned unto Ai, and they smote under the edge of the sword. And so it was that all that fell that day, both the men and women, and the 12,000 even men of Ai. And for Joshua drew not of his head back, where he stretched out the spear, until he had utterly destroyed the inhabitants of Ai. Only the cattle of the spoil of the city took for the prey unto themselves, according to the word of the Lord, which he commanded Joshua. And Joshua burned Ai, and they made a heap over, even a desolation unto this day. And the king of Ai aimed the tree until it was soon until the sun went down. Joshua commanded that he should take his carcass down from the tree, and cast an entering of the gate of the city, and raise therein of the heap of stones that remain unto this day. Then Joshua built an altar of the Lord God of Israel, Mount Ebal, as Moses, servant of the Lord of children of Israel. They were written of the book of the law of Moses, the altar of whole stones, which no man had lifted up in the iron, and they offered therein burnt offerings to the Lord, and sacrificed peace offerings. He wrote there upon the stones of the city, and stones, a copy of the law of Moses, which he had smote the princes of children of Israel. And all Israel, and their elders and officers and their judges, stood on this side of the ark, and on that side were from the priests of the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, as well as the stranger, as that they were born among them. And they have them over against Mount Gerizim, and have them against Ebal. And Moses, servant of the Lord, they commanded before that they should bless the people of Israel. Afterward, they were rid of the words of the law, blessings and cursings, all according to the written book of the law. And there was not a word that all that Moses commanded, which Joshua read not before the congregation of Israel, with the women and the little ones, and the strangers that were servant among them. Okay, that's the ending of Joshua chapter 8. Okay, next we'll read Joshua chapter 9. Okay, we have to go right now. So thank you for watching this video. Bye.